It's just that everything didn't go down at once.
Yes,
thank God.
It wasn't what they said it might be.
Right.
You know, and I think you will see. I think they want to bring in the North American Union in the public eye by 2012. I think that might be one of the goals. They like the number. They're into that, numerology. They're into the stars. I mean, it's their religion. They're into the occult, folks. It's the Info Warrior. We'll be back with your calls and Jim Mars after this. All right, folks, we are back with the great Jim Mars, author of The Fourth Reich, Rule by Secrecy, Crossfire, and others. I mean, the guy's done it all. How many times have you been a bestseller now? 4? 4 times a bestseller. Man, that's got to feel good, huh? It's got to feel good, right?
Well, I've always heard of Rich and Famous, but nobody ever told me about Just Famous.
Well, you know what? Your work is going to last a lot longer than you do, my friend. So
probably true.
That's always nice.
No,
it's always nice to leave a legacy out there, and a lot more. Even you said your first book was published in '89. It seems like even longer because you've been on the scene. But as the years have progressed, you've been validated again and again. As the years progress and more documents come out into light, I mean, it's just incredible. That's why I am just now beginning to get a little irked when people say, well, you're just a conspiracy theorist, Well, number one, I don't really deal in conspiracy theories. I mostly deal in conspiracy facts, okay? Mm-hmm. And so what I try to explain to them is if you can prove something, it's not a theory. Mm-hmm. And you're right. Back in the 60s and 70s, actually, I was writing for public publication in newspapers and stuff. I said, the Kennedy assassination is a big conspiracy, and of course I was the nut. But now everybody, the polls show, 95% of the people now understand clearly that Kennedy was killed as a result of a conspiracy. And then I tell people, well, Nixon's a criminal. No, you're just a nut. Now everybody knows he's a criminal. Yeah, several movies about the subject.
Exactly, And then I tried to tell them Reagan's not all he's cut up to be. Apparently a very nice guy, but they shot him right off the bat. And Bush took over.
And they forced Bush upon him. A lot of people don't understand that.
They don't understand that. And when he was campaigning in 1980, Ronald Reagan swore him down. He'd never accept George Bush.
Asked him about the Trilateral Commission and his ties to that.
Oh, he was going to investigate all of that. It didn't happen. And people just lose sight of all this, Mm-hmm. And then, of course, during the Bush years, George W., I'm trying to say this is a bunch of Nazis. They're National Socialists masquerading as neocons. And people said, oh, no, you can't say that about our wonderful president, yada, yada, yada. And then they say, you're just saying that because you must be some kind of liberal Democrat. No, people that have been reading my stuff know that I was blasting the Clinton administration, okay? Because they were the ones actually kind of set us up for where we are now. And then the Bush administration pushed it right forward. And then what I've been trying to explain to people is that the moneyed and financial elites and interest are behind both of them, same people.
Exactly.
And today I mentioned on the Alex Jones show and read from the Council on Foreign Relations website where we now have Obama's national security advisor who now plainly stated in public in a public speech that he takes his daily orders from Dr. Kissinger, Henry Kissinger, for God's sake, whoever voted for him. And Kissinger's a Republican. So why is the national security advisor of a Democratic president taking orders from a Republican? I mean, people need to wake up and understand this is all window dressing. We need to identify the financial rulers and so that we can try to figure out how we can regain a little bit of sovereignty and autonomy here and freedom in this country, because otherwise they're going to keep running us from pillar to post. And when we start to figure out what's going on, then they pull some false flag operation, or they have some shooting spree, or they'll send somebody off their meds and get our minds off of it. Oh my God, what happened?
Or they'll go on Leno,
Yeah, go on Leno. Well, see, that's it. That is the dumbed down culture that we are now cultivating. And there's a reason for this, Jason, because you never hear a national politician today refer to the Republic.
Yeah.
They don't talk about the Republic anymore because we're not a republic anymore. Mm-hmm. All they can talk about is democracy. Democracy. Got to save democracy. Got to go overseas and fight for democracy. Mm-hmm. Got to bring other people democracy. Well, go check the dictionary. What is democracy? Ruled by the majority.
Yeah.
In other words, a lynch mob.
Yeah. And we don't even have that. I mean, let's be honest. If it was a lynch mob, you think people would be able to keep their homes and keep their jobs. I mean,
No,
it's all rhetoric, man. And
it's all
disgusting.
rhetoric. It's all rhetoric, but they control the masses because they control the mass media.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why they talk about democracy.
Yeah, they hype up Obama. I mean, that was over every news network.
Obama.
He's on Leno. It's the first time a sitting president is on the Late Show. Oh, my God. All right, let's keep taking calls because I got a full line of callers. Let's go to Leo in Massachusetts. Leo, you're on the air with Jim Mars.
Thanks for taking the call. Mr. Mars, I know you've done some great books, and I think for some reason the choir doesn't know how to sing. And I think what we really need is a good manifesto of 10 things to do and 10 things not to do. And the title of it should be, Are You a Good German or Do You Want Your Country Back?
I love it. And, interestingly enough, it sounds suspiciously close to what I'm kind of planning for a new book. So I'm not going to go into that much anymore, but I think you're on the right track.
But the thing is this, see, we should have it adjusted to each individual demographic so that these 10 things to do and 10 things not to do are within your specific demographic. So we should break the whole culture down into city, suburban, rural, and also into the economic classes. So what you can do as parts of each economic class. And this way...
I don't think there's going to be that many economic classes in the next 6 months.
After this year, there's just going to be the haves and have-nots.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for the 100th monkey to appear.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And when we all kind of figure it out. And
well, I'm working on it.
Yeah, Leo, I thank you for the call, but I got to go to some other callers. All right.
One little thing.
All right, go for it.
I want this to be a universal thing. I want people like Salente, Chapman, bunches of people to sign on to this because more the merrier. That's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of us getting together and signing on to a manifesto of 10 things to do and 10 things not to do. And I want something. I want it funny so that it can put up on the water cooler. Do you realize how damaging water cooler stuff is?
No, I hear you. Hey, Leo, I know you called in earlier in the week with that same idea. It's a good one. I hope that they can get together. Before we go to the next caller, so you are working on a new project right now. Fourth Reich's been out for, about 6 to 12 months now, right?
Yeah, in fact, it's getting ready to come out in the paperback in June, so that'll even get it wider circulation.
Excellent.
But like Leo said, you can't just always give them the bad news and tell them this is bad, bad, bad. You got to tell them, hey, here's what you could be doing.
Yeah. No, I agree. Hey, you know what? This is an upbeat radio show. I know Alex gets a lot more excited than I do, but even though I'm going through these news like martial law, I do try to tell people, if you live in that area, whether you're in Schenectady County or not, call the mayor's office.
Yeah.
If you live in the Albany area, go to the Albany County meeting and say, you know what, we don't want this gun legislation. It's absolutely ludicrous.
Right.
So,
and then add a little code to that and say, if you pursue this, I'm going to work to the best of my ability to see that you're out of office.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, well, I guess I'm going to have to run against you then. People start listening when you're thinking about taking their job. So, again, that's why Campaign for Liberty is targeted in this MIAC document. All right, let's go to Ken in New York. Ken, what's on your mind?
Yes, Jason and Mr. Mars, thank you for taking my call.
You got it.
Howdy.
Yes, I live in central New York, a few miles southwest of where Jason Bermas is from, actually, Prattsburgh.
Okay.
What I would like to comment on is, and I've only gone through about 97 pages of your book, Mr. Mars, thus far. It's kind of heavy reading for me. But I want to comment on what I'm seeing from Reuters right now regarding the White House garden. The White House has actually planted a garden, and I've seen reports of this H.R. 875 thing.
Yeah, the organic farming bill, the one he was talking about earlier, that they don't want you to even have a farm in your backyard to be able to,
Exactly. And what I see right now, as of 6 o'clock Eastern time tonight, is that the First Lady actually broke ground on a White House vegetable garden today, digging a plot on the mansion's south lawn to help provide her children and visitors with fresh, healthy food. And they're also going to have a beehive there, So,
well, it's all for show, for the newer, greener world. They want to look like they're helping the earth. They want to look like they're for the people.
So they can have a garden, but I can't, right?
That's now you're kind of getting to it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't agree with that, and
I don't either.
I'm going to be planting anyway, So You know,
Well, that sounds good to me, man.
Watch for the helicopters.
The White House is our ground.
That's
Our
right.
ground.
Well, they've lost sight of the fact that they're supposed to be public servants. They're supposed to be serving us. We're not supposed to be serving them.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're just acting like authoritatives, and it is kind of like that psychology where, you know, the masses, most people who don't have gardens, who have no incentive to have a garden, they're going to see Michelle Obama with the garden. They're going to be like, see, I can have a garden, and they're not going to realize that, no, you can't.
Then they'll be busted.
Yeah, exactly. Then they're busted. Then they're in a database. It's absolutely ludicrous. Thank you for the call, Ken. All right, let's jump to Chris in Maryland. Chris, what's happening? Yes, sir, Chris. We got him or we drop him? Let's go to Zach in New York. Zach, what's up? Did we lose all the callers?
You're dropping like flies.
I guess. Either that or we lost the guy in Minnesota. All right, we'll wait for our next caller coming in. Never mind. Anyway, so you got a new book coming. You said paperback in June.
Right.
How much longer do you think till a new book? You usually take about 18 months, 2 years in between, or is this going to be the big one?
This may take some time. Yeah.
Really? Well, yours are always super thick too. I mean.